I reached out to StewMac's marketing and asked if they'd be interested in supplying the channel a StewMac ColorTone Aerosol finishing set with tinted lacquer so I could use it with my Combinata project. They agreed to provide the finishing kit used in the video. They've not paid me to produce content for them or express a specific opinion. I chose the vintage mahogany tint for my project. Guitar neck that I had and screwed it onto the body so I had a handle to help me work with the guitar body as well as hanging it when it was in its different drying phases. You clean and sand the surface of the body to remove any imperfections. I then wet the body to raise the grain and sanded it again, and actually sanded it all the way down to what you would call a 320 sand. Then I took a can of air and a cloth and thoroughly wiped down and blew off the dust and any particles that were on the body. The kit comes with a package of the powdered grain filler. Mix it according to the instructions on the package. Apply the grain filler and let it dry. Using a paintbrush, apply the grain filler with a grain, and then using the brush the filler against the grain. You remove then any excess filler with a putty knife and clean rag. After drying, sand with 320 grit sandpaper lightly to remove any excess filler and create a level surface. Application of the vinyl sealer is 2 to 4 coats, allowing 1 to 2 hours dry time between coats. There's light sanding between the different coats, so you basically lightly sand with 320 grit sandpaper using a sanding block to remove any fuzz or lint. Dry time, you basically let the final sealer coat dry for 24 hours before moving on to the color coats. Again, also spray multiple thin coats, holding the can 8 to 10 inches from the surface. You apply 4 to 10 coats of the tinted lacquer, or until you basically get the color and coverage that you want. Spray 2 to 3 coats per day. Allow 1 to 2 hours drying time between the coats. And I did this for 2 days, and I applied, I think, a total of 6 coats. Clear coat application, the top coats. Shake the clear lacquer can at least for a minute after the agitator rattles. Again, make sure to warm your cans. For initial application of your clear coats, you apply 1 to 3 light clear coats. These first few clear coats need to be very light because they can dissolve the color. If applied too heavily, they can run and pull the color off the guitar with them. So then once you've put these kind of establishing 3 coats of the clear coat and you move on to your subsequent clear coats, after the initial light coats, you can then apply heavier clear coats. So you apply a total of 4 to 10 clear coats depending upon the desired thickness. So you have to do what's called curing the finish. And they say that this is the most important step in the entire finishing process. And that's where you need to hang the guitar somewhere where it's warm and dry and let the finish cure for 10 to 14 days before final sanding and buffing.